What up? Back.
What's up, everybody?
Man, back again for another wonderful episode of Start Ugly But Don't Stay Ugly. Got my man,
Big Marv.
I'm Tez. And man, got a nice little show for y'all today.
Yeah.
Nice little show.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some things. These things is things. And I want to say, I know I'm a little serious at times, and I'm really not that serious, but I'm very serious when I talk about these topics that we talk about. So I'm going to try to lighten up a little bit, add a little bit more humor to the situation, but the topic's still serious. So if I get serious, just know that it's because I have so much passion and love about what we're talking about.
All right. So I don't think you'd be too over the top serious. Like you just said, he mean well because he wants us to win.
Yeah.
So sometimes he be showing more emotion.
Yeah.
I do as well, but I'm a little silly sometimes, goddamn. But you all good, brother. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So today's topic, we're gonna talk about the Manless Society.
Yeah.
The Manless Society.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about a few other things as well. But the first thing we talking about is the Manless Society. Big Marv came up with this, so I'm gonna let Big Marv set it off.
Well, you all, of course, we always talking off camera, and because we're trying to figure out solutions for us as a black people because of all the stuff that's aimed at us. Mm-hmm. And we talk about what we see. A lot of what we see is not always good. Mm-hmm. But one thing I noticed is I don't see a lot of men. Every day, back in the day type men doing men type things. For example, the workforce, which we'll get into. For example, interacting with the opposite sex with females. And I bring those two topics up, or those two topics up because I notice who I don't see working because I'm out there on the workforce all the time. And along with me being out there on the workforce, I also see a lot of women without men.
Makes it more manless.
Yeah, which is crazy. So we'll get into that a little bit. Matter of fact, what you think about that, man? Do you notice that? Because I know when I'm out, and I'm all over the city, and definitely in the downtown area, and I'll point out the downtown area because, of course, that's the more big time area where people got more resources, more money, et cetera, et cetera. I see a lot of women, black, white, Hispanic, but of course I'm talking more so about the sisters. But I see women in general, but definitely black women, but women in general, I don't really see them with men no more. Do you, or have you noticed that?
I have seen some of that.
Okay.
And of course I didn't really pay attention to it till we had a conversation on camera, and I was like, damn, you're right. I don't hardly ever see couples that are heterosexual walking down the street anymore. It's sparingly, more so in the black community than other races. Yeah. And I pay attention to that a lot more black women are in the workforce than men, than black men, I should say. Of course, black women are the most educated class in America. So I guess they've earned the right to work more, and I guess a byproduct of that would be that
you got one of these things doesn't belong. Okay, I guess.
And I noticed that there's a certain class of black women who feel like, well, I don't need a man.
You get some of that.
And we all need each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all need each other.
I agree.
And I mean, I've been in a situation where a semi-relationship with a woman who felt that she was better than me because she made more money than me. And I'm like, your money ain't my money. I don't care about your money, So I guarantee you will never hear me ask you for anything because I don't want what you got.
I got you. Yeah.
And I think that could be offensive. But why do you think the man isn't there?
Like you just stated that, you know, black women, of all the women on the planet, or at least in America, should I say,
Yeah.
are some of the most educated, degree-carrying women on the planet. And I'm cool with that. But in saying that, I'm not even talking about the big-time jobs. Like, I'm not talking behind the scenes in these corporate boardrooms, because I don't have access to those type of, you know, areas. I'm talking about everyday jobs that I would just see the common dude doing. For example, working on a garbage truck. Matter of fact, yesterday I'm driving down the street, saw a Caucasian guy driving a garbage truck, and I saw a black woman on the back of the garbage truck. Now y'all tell me that shit look right.
So wait a minute.
See, here you go. Go ahead.
She was hooking up the garbage can to the truck so it could do the flip.
The white guy driving the truck.
It shake all the garbage
all the
out,
bullshit,
the rats and everything that's inside of the garbage.
Like
and then it flips it back over, and she unhooks it and then rolls it back.
And he on the truck, she in the back of the garbage truck.
So I guess it must be a seniority thing.
When the fuck they get all the seniority over the brothers? You know what I'm saying? That not trying to be funny. Let me say this. I don't have a problem with women doing anything.
Yeah. Because
I think more of our women than that. You can't tell me the first job and some of the only jobs you can find for my sisters are to work on the back of garbage trucks. Now, if we got the most educated women in America, which if they're not the most, they right close. They 1B as opposed to 1A. So you can't find another arena for them to work in. Give you an example. We talk about sports. I'm a sports guy. For those of you who've been watching us a little bit, y'all know I'm from sports. They came up with they created a whole new lane for these white boys to play. It's called analytics. All they did was gave it another name. Because there's always been a scout or some people that's gathered information on the other team. We was doing that in high school. So now that you fast forward to 2010, 2015, now according to analytics, so you can't create a name for these sisters with these degrees. You see what I'm saying? So the best I could do for the black woman is we're going to throw them on the back of garbage trucks. Y'all heard of the term mailman. There's a reason why they call it the mailman. Because men used to carry all those bags and all the. Again, I'm not saying that women can't do it. I just think if that's the case, we got to create another lane for women to do something less stressful, should I say? Yeah. Because that's stressful to be lifting that stuff all day, pushing garbage can. That's a lot of weight, man.
I ran into a woman, and she's on a walker, and she said the reason how she ended up being on a walker was because she was a male lady, and pulling and pushing and carrying that weight destroyed her knees. So now she has to walk with a walker. Now that's not saying that the same thing can't happen to a man. Yeah. But a man's body is more designed for stress like that, you know, because biologically we are just different, you know. Yeah. But dealing with the aspect of some women not being with men, you know, it's a little disarming or disheartening, I should say, because we need each other. You know, like it seems like there's a gender war going on right now.
I can agree.
And no one can win. It's a war that cannot be won. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because the men win, we lose.
Right. If
women win, we lose. You know, it's like no one can win this gender war. And instead of sitting down and being mature and talking it out and saying like, what is it that you want? What is it that you require? And on both sides, and hear each other without having a rebuttal in your head, not even paying attention, only hearing 30% of what the person is saying, because you're trying to formulate your rebuttal. Just hear them out and see like, how can we come back together again? Because there is no surviving if men and women don't hook up. Yeah. This ain't nothing against, you know, all you people who are not heterosexual. Yeah. But sorry, y'all are over in one generation if heterosexuals don't pull it together. Yep. You're done in one generation. It's over. You are wiped out. So we need heterosexuals to figure their stuff out in order so we can keep moving forward and passing the baton, and passing the baton, and passing the baton. Because if we don't, it's over. So, and this is something I want to talk about too, and it's kind of fit in with this manless society thing. You know, as men, you know, we got to stop thinking with our dick all the time.
True. That's true.
Because we're abusing women by just doing that. You know, and women are already, most women are naturally emotional. And when we're playing the short-term game, and she's kind of thinking we're playing the long-term game, and after we done, you know, used her up on the tag act, then we're going to look for someone else we can tag. You know what I'm saying?
Tag act.
So it's like, I can see how a woman would not trust men. Like it's the sister. I knew her when she lived here. I think she moved back to Tanzania, and she posted something on Instagram, and she said this dude walked down the street and smacked on her ass, right?
Okay.
And she said immediately, because of that one incident, she don't feel safe around men no more.
Wow.
That one act.
Wow.
Of some dude who felt he was massively entitled to just walk down the street and smack her on the ass. And I'm like, yo, when do we as men put barriers and blocks? Say, hey man, we gotta respect these women, because these are the mothers of our children. And women, what you teach the child is 9 times out of 10 what the child is gonna grow up to be. So we need y'all to be at your peak.
and I'm in agreement with you. It just lets both sides know that we balance each other out.
Yeah.
And without it, y'all see what's out here in the street. Whether it be the lack of man or the lack of woman, who's ever at fault. Again, either way, we don't win. No. So I'm not here pushing the man's agenda and forget the ladies. Again, I come from a background with my mother, my sister, my aunties, my nieces, and my close female friends. We're going to war for these ladies. That's just how I'm wired.
Absolutely.
But I still can't deny what I see on the other side, because again, you know, I want to be isolated on the island. Like me and my family's cool, everybody else fucked up. It can't be that way. So it's going to require us doing some changing. I'm not knocking women for working, but if they can create these special lanes for grown Caucasian men, and I'm not trying to be racist, but this is what it is. Again, I have a sports background. I know analytics wasn't around 25 years ago. It was just a scout out there. You go and you got film on the other team. You study the film. Okay, Lynn is fast. He throws with his right hand. This is favorite side. This is weak side. We've been doing this since the 80s. Now all of a sudden this analytics and everybody's reading off a chart. Oh, we've been doing that shit for fucking 30 years. So I'm saying that to say, so now when it comes to our women, especially women of color, black women, the best we can do for y'all is throwing you on the back of a garbage truck. That's why it looks so strange to me. This is yesterday when I saw that. The white guy's driving the truck, and the sad part, not even the black man, it's the black woman on the back of a truck. So this is what we think of our women. We're going to let you carry them mail bags, and again, of course you all could do it. Yeah. But as a man, I can tell you that's a lot of wear and tear on men's body. I didn't hear men talk about their knees aren't no good, or their elbows and shoulders, because of the physical labor day in, day out. And by the way, men are normally designed to be more stronger. We got more muscle tones than you guys. You know what I'm saying? So we're more built for that type of stuff. For example, women like y'all built to carry babies. Certain people are just here to do certain jobs. It ain't trying to belittle nobody else's lane. It's just that when you're in your lane, let's help you build up your lane so y'all can thrive. But at the same time, you can't eliminate your man and expect to win. You can't have a manless society, just like we can't have a womanless society.
Cannot. We need
it.
Each other.
How do you not need what it took for you to get here?
That's amazing, man. In that point right there, how do we not have what it took to get here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Both sexes have to come together.
You have to.
You have to. Or it's over. We're gonna go extinct, you know. And I'm saying this specifically to black women. I know who I was when I was younger, and I mistreated a lot of black women, and it came from one incident, me being hurt by a black woman. And thankfully, I have matured beyond that point at this stage in my life. And I went back and I apologized to almost every last woman who I wronged. Because I was young. And I was given bad advice by other bad men who were immature. I'm going to tell you this. I ain't going to tell you who told me this. You know what I'll tell you. This was something my father told me. He said, women like being lied to. So I'm like, oh shit, let me go out here and be a liar then. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm lying to these chicks. I can't remember my lies and everything. I'm getting caught up all the time. And then I'm like, man, he told me the wrong shit. Then I'm like, no wonder him and my mom ain't together. So I'm sitting here like, women don't like hearing a lie. Well, somewhere down the line, he probably was told that exact same thing. Yep. And so I don't know where it started at, but I promise you it ended with me. It had to end with me. I'm not going to keep perpetuating bullshit. So as a man, I'm apologizing for my immaturity. And I can't apologize for nobody else. But I'm apologizing for mine. And I'm looking to support women. However, black women, we need y'all to support us too. Because if we don't, man, it's over for us. And I'm at the stage in my life where I don't view women sexually like that. I mean, I still want to go and look at a woman who got fat cheeks and shit like that. I'm a man. I'm interested in that. But after like 2 seconds, I'm like, man, whatever, because it's fat cheeks all over the place.
Yeah, you like, okay, what else do
you have?
What else is it to the package?
To the pack, right. Yeah. Because once I remove the breast and I remove the ass, like what am I dealing with at that point?
Right here.
And women, I'm black women, I'm imploring you to do the exact same thing. After the man gets done showing you the bravado and that he's comedic, ask yourself, what else does he have? What does he have? And I think that'll start to mend our relationship a little bit more. Where we'll start seeing each other for the value that each other bring instead of looking at each other for the sexual gratification on both sides.
And if it brings any comfort to either side, male or female, as a guy, we also got to realize how we just been played in this game of living life every day because we've been lied to. And in defense of his dad, and I don't get down like that, nor do I co-sign what his dad taught him, but in defense of his dad, we was all taught the game wrong. I know it because luckily my father was there to show me another side, because what I got from the street was nothing what my dad told me. Everything about the street was the game. Oh, by the way, in defense of men, I've dealt with women that told me that they want to hear a guy. He ain't even got no Mac. He ain't got no game. That nigga lame. Like what? They didn't say it about me, but I know some guys that I knew growing up that didn't have no game. So they had to figure out how to go and approach a girl. They couldn't sell themselves because they had to tell the lie, because the woman wanted to hear the lie. He ain't even got no game. Go on, Mac, tell me, pick me up, give me. I didn't heard that shit. I was like, wow. So again, I'm saying that to say we all bring some bullshit to the table. I'm not making it the man's fault. I'm not making it the woman's fault. But together we both brought some bullshit into this lane. So y'all gonna get the bullshit results, and so are we. Because like what Tez just said, outside of looking at a girl and she got a nice body, I'm the type of guy. Same thing. Maybe mine's maybe 5 minutes. Because I am fascinated because y'all are the most gorgeous women on the planet to me. But after that gorgeous, I'd be like, okay, what else she talking about?
What she got to talk about?
Right. What are we doing? Because if we ain't on the same page mentally, we might as well let me get out your way, because I'm just wasting my time and your time.
I've been accused of being standoffish and a whole bunch of things because I really don't have time to deal with people who be on BS. I just don't.
I got you.
So a lot of times women have labeled me as conceited and they just mislabeling me, and I just go with it because I'm like, you don't know me. And then when they meet other people who I talk to, they be like, he ain't nothing like that. And they were like, he actually is hilarious if you get to know him, you know. And it's like, he's very juvenile because he like to play a lot and shit like that. But because I want to keep bullshit up off me, I keep a certain, you know, veneer about myself. Like, you can't penetrate a certain level of me, you know. I might say what's up.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah, you gotta earn that. And so, just like I have to earn that same woman's attention, who I might be interested in. Like, be honest with you, I ain't never had no game. My game was me being me.
Okay.
That was my game. Me being me. Look, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I got. These are my goals. That's me.
I know coming up in the late 80s, early 90s, girls would be like, And that, like you said, but then it's crazy because 10, 12 years later, after they done had 2 kids, really, that's the package that they're looking for.
Yep.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I ran a little game, but I found out early that I don't want to be lying to you to get you because I'm not gonna keep up the lie.
Right.
So I'm gonna be myself, and I love myself.
Exactly.
So let me give you who I am.
Exactly.
And it's funny. I'm pretty sure he's gonna agree as well. I came to find out that when I started being myself, girls found me more attractive. Now, we're not talking just the physical look.
No.
I just think package-wise. You know, how you look, how you carry yourself, how you take care of your physical and your mental side. You got your spiritual connection, your family oriented. You know, you're very respectful. You demand respect because you give it, so you got to receive it. So that whole little box right there make you more attractive as opposed to a guy that's just out here that's living a lie. I don't want a woman that's living a lie.
Neither. Because we can't progress with the lie.
No.
So if I'm coming to a woman a certain kind of way, then she's expecting that way of me all the time.
Yeah.
But if I come to her like, look, I don't do that. That's not saying down the line I might be able to do that. But right now, as the person I am in front of you, I don't do this. So don't expect me to do that. You're playing me to my weakness. So play me to my strength, and so as we get to know each other. And I think that's what a lot of men are failing at in a relationship to trying to get to a woman. A lot of these dudes don't have no strengths that they think are strengths. So they playing off their materialism. Well, I got some money, I got this car, I can send you on a trip, XYZ, and that's nice if that's what you got. But that shit runs thin because she's not dealing with your money, she's dealing with your character. Same thing with us. I'm not dealing with your titties and your ass. I'm dealing with your character. So after I seen them, because I seen all shapes and sizes, I just gotta be honest. After I seen yours, I'm like, okay, now I gotta get to the real person now. And I think one reason why we are in this quote unquote manless society with women is because women don't feel safe because men have completely just objectified them. You are nothing more than titties and ass. And you're more than that. But if that's all you show me, how do I know you're more than that?
But let's say this as well. I know we're talking about black men, but you also got to understand the people that run this system, that's their game. That's their game. They've always gotten down like that.
Yep.
And women, y'all know this, y'all don't need me to say it, but I say it, they find y'all more attractive than their women.
Yep, absolutely.
And you, again, to me, you all are the most prettiest women on the planet.
Yep.
I'm not the only person to feel like that as far as being a person of color. The people that don't have color, the Caucasian men, y'all know they find you attractive. Again, we got to identify what that whole little BS package started. It started with people that kind of run that's controlling this game in America.
They have fetishized black women and Asian women, Mexican women, because they call them exotic. Okay, so if you're exotic, that means you're something that's beyond the norm. You know? So what's their norm? Their norm is white women. So they want something exotic outside of what they're used to, right? So, but don't fall for the bullshit. They just want to do what black men want to do too. They want to have sex with you. Except they come a little bit different because they might come acting a certain kind of way. And black men typically just, hey, this is who I am, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They might be coming under the, oh, you know, I'll never do this to you, and I'm a loyal kind of guy, and XYZ, and then they men too, women. They men.
And let me add this, they control the rules to the game. So even if they come with the bullshit, they could also come with, okay, I know you need this $500 a month. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be funny with it, but we know that most people in our areas, in the black areas, we don't have a whole lot of money. Mm-hmm. So when they come with that bullshit game, they come with, it's nothing for them because they change the rules to the game all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit to you, but I'll go, it ain't enough for me to give you this little $600 a month for the next 2 years. Whereas, depending on what we're doing for a living, it ain't that easy for a regular 9-to-5 guy just to be giving you an easy $500, $600 every other week just because he want to be with you. And y'all know that.
And black women, I would implore you to stop, not all of y'all, some of y'all, stop looking at men as an ATM machine. If you can't go out and get it yourself, don't expect someone else to do it for you. That's not their job. Like, you know, I was watching a video, and it was this, she was a young chick, and she was talking about she only want to have sex with ball players and rappers, you know, the typical chick, you know, typical shit. And she was like, she trying to get pregnant by them because she want to get the bag. You know, she want to be able to go on trips with her children. I was saying to myself, that's your job. That's not his job. Because his career will come to an end. And then there will be some adjustments made at the end of his career. So if you're getting, hypothetically, you're getting $100,000 a month, right? Well, at year 15 of his contract is when it expires. He ain't making that much money no more. Who you gonna go find another ball player and you 15 years older? Who gonna want you?
But I think the problem in that scenario is even if you happen to be with a guy, ladies, or guys, if you with a girl, so both sides of it, and you dating a guy that's making after taxes $800,000, $1 million, $2 million a year. So if you look up financially and hook up with a person like that, and if you're talking about somebody that's got the money for you to do whatever you want to do, hey, maybe you want to start a whatever company. That's your guy, probably your husband and or your girl or your wife. Y'all got the money to go start, baby. How much? Well, it's gonna cost $50,000. If you're making $2, $3, $4 million a year, what do you care about $50,000?
Right.
Oh, by the way, now, and if you're dealing with a cat of that caliber, chances are, because he's dealing with this organization, these sports companies, these are billion-dollar organizations. Oh, your girl trying to do what? Oh, well, my partner's auntie's sister, she runs the such and such. It's a who you know world.
Yeah, it's connected.
Right. So if you're not just trying to sit there and depend on the person that you hooked up with, male or female, and you got some goals and some ideas that you got your partner here that can fund, man, come to the table like, baby, I was thinking about doing such and such, and y'all can grow y'all empire. But like Tez was just saying, it gets old after 10 years. My man ain't gonna be making 10. The older you get, the less you make in these leagues.
Yep.
Because you're not that valuable no more because you're older now.
Yep.
So if you got some ideas when you're younger and you're blessed enough to hook up with a guy that made it to the NBA, NFL, or Major League Baseball, and on the opposite side, guys, if you done hooked up with a girl that made it to the WNBA or that's coaching in the NBA, because women coaching in the NBA now, women coaching in the NFL now, it's a new day, y'all. So
I don't see how that's possible.
But it's there.
You ain't never played a down. How can you coach?
See, but if you say that to the average person, they think you're being sexist.
I'm not being sexist.
I'm in agreement with you. There's an assistant coach, I believe she's on the San Antonio Spurs. She's an assistant coach. She never played pro men basketball, but she played basketball. That don't mean you can coach men because our thinking is totally different. It's a different concept.
It's a different approach to the game.
Yeah. So again, when you say that to people, well, she knows the game. That's not what we're saying. How do we find a way to build up the WNBA so y'all can beg? I wish they would play them girls $1 million a year. Which they don't.
But see, and this ain't sexist what I'm about to say. I'm dealing strictly with a man plays more minutes. Why? Because he has the capacity to play more minutes. The game can be fast, up and down, up and down, up and down. Whereas when it comes to the woman's game, they don't play as many minutes as men play. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So no, you can't get paid the exact same amount that a man gets paid if he's playing more. You can't. I don't believe in that. Like when Serena Williams was fighting for, women's supposed to get paid the exact same amount as the men players. Okay, Serena, that might apply to you, but all the other women that was not applying for, because they didn't have the draw that you had. Mm-hmm. Plus, you play the best 3 out of 5, where the men play the best 4 out of 7. Mm-hmm. So, if y'all want to do 4 out of 7, which we know physically they won't be able to handle that type of pressure, because why? Their physiology is not like a man's. You should not be making the exact same amount. Now, that's where I differ with, because he's playing more. He's playing more time. Mm-hmm. So hence, he should be paid more for the time he plays. Mm-hmm. I'm not. Should there be some $1 million WNBA players? Yes. Mm-hmm. But you gotta have that $1 million draw.
But I was about to say that in defense of Serena, if you're, and I'm pretty sure her team got the numbers before Serena and her sister Venus was playing. I don't know what tennis was playing. Making per year. Let's just say at the end of the tennis season, they were making $1 billion a year. I could guarantee you when the Williams sisters started playing, that shit jumped.
It jumped, yeah, absolutely.
So if they brought another $1 billion to the industry, hey, pay them sisters 30, 40, 60, 80 million, whatever the fair amount is a year, and if they're making more than the men, ain't got no problem with that.
Ain't got no problem with that.
Right, because y'all increased the value of the league.
Exactly.
So pay them sisters, they've earned it. Serena was kicking everybody's ass.
Kicking everybody ass.
Venus was as well, but Serena took it to another level. Yep. Pay that sister her money, man. But I get what you're saying on the coaching part of it. Here we go again. That's just the man's side. Leave the man's side on the man's side.
Yep.
Now, there's some phenomenal women. Pay them WNBA girls. I say pay them. If they, like you say, if they can build that league up where it's drawing the eyes to watch them girls play, and them girls can play.
They can play.
They can ball.
They can ball.
As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, they can beat most men.
Not non-NBA.
I ain't talking about NBA.
No.
NBA, y'all ain't beating them dudes. Y'all ain't beating them.
Absolutely not.
And see, but when you say that, people still think you're being unfair and sexist. Y'all done seen the NBA. Who's stopping LeBron? I mean, who gonna stop Steph Curry from shooting coming off them picks?
No.
What's his name? Who just left? KD. Who gonna stop KD?
They don't have it. They don't have
right,
an equivalent.
6'9", right? I mean,
you don't have an equivalent for that.
Right? I mean, come on, man. It's just some people that's. Hey, man, guys are different. Football. How you gonna coach something that you never played? You never got in the trenches with these cats.
If you ain't played a down, you don't know how that game is.
It's different. I'm telling you, I ran a 4.40, and if you collide with grown men running that fast and with that much weight and power, you gonna tell me how to hit him when you've never. Do you know how that feel? No, I don't know how it feel. What you talking about?
Yeah, how can you tell me what to do? Now, I get it. You can use theory. You can use
analytics.
Yeah, you can use hypothetics. You can use your computer screen and all this and that. But that impact is something totally different from all that.
Yeah. So,
I'm not against women having equity when they deserve it. But in as far as basketball and tennis and football, no, y'all can't get paid like that. Those are the gods. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they get paid like that is because they're so rare. It's the rarity of that human being who's 6'9", 215 pounds, and can jump out the gym, you know what I'm saying? Can think and move simultaneously with a ball, you know what I'm saying? That's rare.
Yeah, defy gravity.
That is rare.
Certain angles. I think most people's concept of basketball is basketball because you go to the park and saw these kids shooting at the park. it's kind of like a 5-year-old riding a big wheel, and then this nigga rolling up on the block in a Mercedes. And I'm not trying to be funny.
Right.
That's how wide the difference is from a cat shooting at the park. Man, these cats in the league, these cats are different, man.
Way different.
I don't even say 6'5". You roll up on a guy 5'9". You get these cats. Steph Curry ain't that tall.
Nah.
Iverson was about 5'10", 5'11". I mean, Hall of Fame.
Balling.
You name these cats. Spud Webb was 5'9", winning the dunk contest. The average cat in the league 6'2", 6'3". Spud Webb 5'9", dog. As a matter of fact, I think he was 5'7".
Yeah.
Muggsy Bogues.
5'3".
Yeah, come on, dog. These cats, what's his name? Played for the Bulls for a minute. Didn't play for the Celtics. I can't think of his name. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. The little dark-skinned guard. My man is easy 5'9". Nate Robinson.
Yeah, I'm about to say Nate Robinson, yeah.
I mean, just killing them. He played in a 3-on-3 tournament. He's giving people the blues. Man, these cats are different, man.
Wasn't he supposed to get drafted in the NFL or something like that?
I think he's talking about getting a different sport.
Yeah.
Leave it alone, dog, because you done locked in on basketball for the last 10. It's hard to make that. Everybody ain't Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders.
That's true. So, at the end of the day, women, we need men involved in the society together. Men, we need women involved into the society together.
Gotta have
because we can't progress without that.
Yeah.
There's no human growth without men and women connecting together. And one thing I want to talk about, and it's kind of similar to the conversation, is and it goes a lot with this because it's a lot of juvenile behavior, amongst black people in the world, in America, I should say. It's a lot of juvenile behavior, If you look at the rappers today, their names are Little This, Young That, Baby This, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these are grown men referring to themselves as little something, baby something, young something. Young, I can almost you can get away without.
Okay.
But little and baby. So I try to listen to these songs, and it's so difficult because I know I'm not part of their demographic.
Okay.
And all their songs to me sound like a 3-year-old, and the tone of the song go like na 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 yeah na 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 yeah yeah na 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 yeah na 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 yeah na 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 yeah. And I'm just like, first of all, I don't know what they're saying. Second of all, they sound like 3-year-olds. Third of all, the beat does not have a 1, 2, 3. It's just
okay.
So it's like the soul is missing. And so I pay attention to the environment of black people, right? And I'm like, black people are very juvenile.
Let me say this. Like what you just said, you said you tying this into what I was just saying. I think the lack of real men plays a part in that.
Absolutely.
And I'm not blaming it on male or female.
No.
The lack of real women plays a part in that because who are they reaching up to? For example, I know coming up when we was rocking with LL, Biggie, Run DMC, all these cats, you name it. They was coming from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
And Frankie Beverly and Maze. People playing instruments.
Yeah.
They went to them concerts and heard these cats. Man, did you hear my man on the bass guitar? I know it because I went. It is totally different when you go to a live concert and you hear the realness of a real instrument, and it ain't a drum machine. There's a difference between the drum machine and the drum set. So it just affects your spirit differently. So I think these kids, like going off of what you was just describing, because I don't listen to a lot of the young music. I'm kind of old school. So if you wasn't around to get those lessons, where are you pulling from? So you just moving on the average beat, and you don't have the creative side because you've never sat down with a real man to get that rhythm on the planet so we can teach you these lessons. Because all you're talking about is everyday lessons on the street. So a lot of your lyrics reflect that. But when we hear the messages, it's like, what are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
Oh, he talking about that. We're like, no, he ain't talking about that. Because we used to do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not relatable to older people. So we're not going to gravitate. And please understand, I'm a music fanatic. If it's good, I got you.
I got you. Yeah, I'm listening.
But I'm in agreement with you. I don't really pay a lot of attention to the younger people's music. And I know it ain't for us. But good music is good music.
Good music. Music can transcend a generation.
Yeah, yeah.
It don't matter if you a old head or whatever. I listen to my mother's music. I listen to my grandmother's music. Why? Because the music was good. It can transcend any generation. However, when I hear this sound, like, okay, I grew up during the Run DMC, LL, Rakim, KRS-One. These were people who was teenagers in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And they sounded like men and women.
30s and 40s, yeah.
They sounded like that.
Yeah.
Like KRS-One, I think he was like 22 years old when My Philosophy came out, right?
Killing it.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Rakim was 19 when Eric B. for President came out.
Follow the leader.
He was 20 years old. It's like, look at the level of vocabulary of that time versus today.
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
The
vocabulary of people was astronomical.
Yeah.
And I heard a DJ by the name of Prince Paul. He said what made the golden era of rap music or hip hop music at the time was because people wasn't focused on the money. They was focused on the art.
Okay.
So the art kept going up and rising and rising and rising. And then, of course, anything that rises to a certain level is going to cap off and then it has to come down, right? So I try to understand the youth's perspective of their version of rap music, right? Again, it don't have a 4/4 beat to it. It's just a hi-hat.
Okay.
There's this continuous hi-hat, right? And then it sounds like the beat is farty, like, you know. And it's like, okay. And everyone's rapping like they're in a frenzy.
Okay.
Like I gotta get here quick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I gotta get to this rhyme real quick. So I gotta say this real fast. And it's like they all sound the same as a result of this. And the reason why my point is getting to the juvenile aspect of things, right? So the juvenile aspect of things is why black people are in the condition they are. When your parents was coming up, men were men, women were women, and they respected each other as such. I got the last vestige of that. Today, it ain't hardly no men and no women. It's just perpetual boys and girls having babies. And the babies are seeing how boys and girls act, and they're growing up to remain boys and girls. And so because of that dynamic, it's like we're slipping and slipping and slipping. And when I look at the condition of the world, we're coming, you know, we see the injustices. We know this is wrong. We know that is wrong. But for some reason, you can't expect people who are winning and playing their game and winning by their strategy to change when you haven't grown up yet. The world is not going to wait for me to catch up. I got to catch up to the world. So my question is, when is it going to be cool to be grown? When is it going to be cool to say, man, it's dope to have integrity. It's dope to be mature. It's dope to be accountable. It's dope to be responsible. When is that going to become the thing?
I think when we kind of take over the lane again, because it's easy for them to keep doing what they're doing, which is paying a few of us to sell the rest of us out. I'm not going to say who said what, but I just so happen to look at this episode that took place about a year ago, again, earlier today, when Steve Harvey was going through this little stuff he was going through with Monique. The way he was dealing with her.
And he said what he said?
And he said what he said. For those of y'all who didn't see it, Google the Steve Harvey Monique sit down on the Steve Harvey show, and he was like, the best thing you could do for poor people is not become one of them. How do you say that when that's where you came from? And all Monique was talking about was integrity.
And he said, this ain't got no room for integrity. Like, if it ain't got no room for integrity, then that means we don't have no room for principles. Because that's what integrity is. Integrity is your principles. It's how you move in life. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. I will never violate this. That is integrity.
And I'm not making it about him, but we just talked about the total package as far as what do we do?
What do we do?
We just keep selling ourselves and we keep banging ourselves against one another. But when it comes to everybody sacrificing a little bit so we all can pull at the same time, everybody imitate us anyway. It won't take us long to kind of do our thing if all of us start to pull at the same time. But what you can't have is 5,000 popular black people that's getting it and the other 39 million that's losing. Because there's about 40 million of us, ain't it? 42. In America, 42 million. You can't have 2 million winning and the other 40 million losing.
Yep.
And here we go. Everything requires balance. You can't be that lopsided and keep expecting we're gonna make some changes. You're not gonna make no changes. Nope. So part of it is, I just think part of it is us as a whole, male, female, getting our culture back. That's part of the problem, in my opinion, as well. Our culture's been whitewashed away.
It definitely has been.
So again, where are we pulling from when it comes to your music, your fashion, your interaction with the opposite sex? We're losing on all fronts.
Yeah.
He just brought up music and he wasn't making it about music. He's just talking about the immature ways and how we are now. Again, where does it all start? There's a starting point with all this shit. And you can identify it, but how do we stop it from existing?
I think we stop the bullshit by deciding to be grown. See, a lot of time we feel because we have the height and the weight and the tone of our voice that we're grown. No, you've reached the age of maturity. You've reached the age of adulthood. Being grown means we've purged the boy and girl out of us, and we attack the world in a different kind of way with a different mindset. And when I'm in the streets and I see people my age still acting like the youth, I'm like, what in the fuck has happened? Because like Muhammad Ali said, he said, if you meet a 50-year-old man and he still had the same ideals and behavior that he did when he was 20, he just wasted 30 years of his life.
I'm in agreement. But I think, again, I think, dog, if you go to a doctor and something's wrong with you, one of the first questions they're going to ask you is, how long has this been happening?
Exactly.
So we can identify, okay, so back then, before that time, what were you eating? They're going to break it down so they can identify the issue. My thing with us, how long has this been happening? Oh, for about 400 years. And you get what I'm saying? So, okay, so what jumped off 400 years ago? This thing called slavery. Okay, so there was a system that was created. Okay, so since y'all was the bad part of the system, what was the good part? The people that had their foot on your neck. Can y'all identify those people? And everything that comes with that package, because this is a residual effect that you get 300 years later. We still talking about this shit that we shouldn't be talking about.
I agree.
You made the comment a couple of episodes ago about us starting over. We keep starting over because the game has not been changed. You can't have 4, 5, 6,000 of us winning. For example, this not trying to clown nobody, but if I turn on this genre of entertainment, a different genre, here go another one, I shouldn't see the same motherfuckers that's the headliner in four different arenas. Something's wrong with that. You should win them, for example. Give you this. You see, again, ain't too often you get a Bo Jackson and a Deion Sanders.
Nah, that's rare.
99.9% of the people can't do that.
Yep.
So I'm saying that you get them special catch sometimes, but you know when my man ain't that good or a girl ain't that good to be doing this. Why do I got to see this motherfucker in everything I turn on? When you know they don't possess that Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders type ability where they should be doing all that. And even if you could do that, hey man, because we losing, if you're making $10 million over there, here I go again. Some people this may not make sense to some people. If you know your whole race is losing, and you making $10 million over there, and you can leave these other 4 genres alone where the other people can make 30, 40 million, why you over here taking the $10 million over here? And then the first thing, we got to get our shit together, but how we going to get it together if that makes sense to you?
No, it makes sense. This is a conversation we was talking about off camera, right? And I said, what happens in football when the defense is left on the field too long, right?
They wore the fuck out.
They wore the fuck out. And the reason that is because you never make time for the offense to get in. So black people have been playing defense for over 400 years in America. And we ain't never had an offensive strategy. We never let the quarterback get on the field.
And when we do, they cheated. 12 men on the field.
They throwing flags on us and shit.
We ain't got 12 men, they changed the rules.
They changed the rules. So, but that don't mean that we have to constantly play defense. We need to be on the offense. That's when things will change. But in order to get on the offense, you need some mature motherfuckers. You can't play Pop Warner against the pros. You cannot.
You lost.
You lost. You can't do that.
But if I can erase your culture, and I can eliminate real men from everyday society, where if a young cat come up, because I know I used to watch the Garbage Man. You know, I'm 7, 8 years old. I was fascinated to see the Garbage Man, the Mailman, or Miss Johnson baking cookies, because I knew I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make one better than the other, but when I saw all those different grown folk doing those grown folk things, I know back in the day I used to watch women sew clothes, make suits. We won't rush into the store back in the day a lot when I was little. A lot of our clothes got made. Sewing machines.
Yep.
You understand what kind of skill that takes?
Yeah.
By the way, when you get your jeans and everything made, guess what? Somebody's at the machine stitching that shit together. Maybe it's a machine stitching it together now, but that shit come from stitching.
Yep.
But we come up at a time where, hell, I know I got a couple of my Easter suits made at home. And we was cold-blooded, nigga. I was out there, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm gonna bring that picture one day and show y'all that picture. These are the gifts that our parents had back in the day when we were coming up. It wasn't a lot of rushing to Macy's or nothing. That shit wasn't even out then. And if it was, we couldn't afford it.
Yep.
I heard this said on plenty of podcasts where a lot of people that was poor didn't even know they was poor because we all had the same shit. We all, again, you need some, Miss Johnson got some apples, this guy used to cut the grass, this guy had fish. I mean, all of those things existed in our neighborhood till all of a sudden I started noticing I didn't see a lot of men in the neighborhood no more.
Yep. We dropped the ball on having men and women. And this goes back to the Manless Society situation. Because the men and women of our parents' time converted to boys and girls. And even something worse, bitches and niggas. And I remember coming up, man, you couldn't call no woman no bitch. It was on. Today, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, I don't call people I know niggas. I don't. Now, if I see some nigga behavior, then I'm like, that's some nigga shit right there.
Yeah.
But I don't call people I know niggas because I don't hang around niggas. So we've traded in morals for money and fame. Like that's most important. And I don't understand. It's for people who feel like they're invisible. I get that. However, again, like you said, it goes back to 400 plus years. Our people are sick and don't know it. When someone tries to give you some advice, or give them some advice, they don't want to hear that shit. Like, life is not fun and games 24/7.
No,
it's a time to have fun. I'm telling you, I'm juvenile as hell. But when it's time to be serious, shit, it's gonna be hard pressed to match my focus on that.
I feel you.
It's gonna be hard pressed because this requires some real attention.
Yeah, real dedication.
Some dedication. It requires me to be mature in order to get out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, in one of the podcasts we recorded, I said some shit. Y'all ain't never gonna see it because my man was over here under the slump in the chair. So you ain't never gonna see that.
That's against the law where I
But I was telling the story of how when I was immature and how I fell into a rut, I ended up going through something that I never seen myself going through. Well, let me just tell y'all the story. So I went 14 days without eating, right? And, you know, it's like, damn, I was questioning, like, man, am I ever gonna eat again? You know? So I'm like, man, I can't do this no more, because this wasn't an intentional fast. It was accidental. And so I was just drinking water to keep myself full. So I'm like, I gotta get some government assistance, you know. Now, I'm 36, living in a basement, no income. Like, man, how did I get here? And so I asked my boy whose basement I was living in, can I use his car to go get on Link, right? So he's like, man, hell yeah. He's like, I didn't know you was down here not eating, you know? So I get up that morning, I go get in the line. They let us in at 8 o'clock. I'm the third person in line. And I walk in and sit down, and a woman calls me by a name that only my family know me by. And I said, who in here knows me? I'm embarrassed because I never seen myself coming this way. So then she comes and sit next to me and she says, you don't remember me, do you? And I said, nah. And she said, you lived on such and such on the 3rd floor, and I lived on such and such on the 1st floor. So I'm like, damn, she do know me. So now I'm going in my head trying to figure out who she is, right? So she's talking, but I don't hear nothing she's saying. And so I finally hear a conversation that me and my mother had about her. So my mother told me, you know, she was out there hoeing, she was smoking crack, and she was an alcoholic. Well, I ain't never hoed myself. I ain't never smoked crack, nor did any drugs, and I ain't never did any alcohol. And I'm like, damn, I'm in the same place at the same time with this woman trying to get the exact same thing, and I've never done anything she did. So that was my moment of epiphany that I have done something really wrong in my life. So after I got the Link card and went and bought me some food, the first thing I started doing was reanalyzing my life. How did I get to this point? And then I had to be honest with myself to be like, when this happened, you ran away from it. When this happened, you ran away from it. When this happened, you ran away. You ran away, you ran away, you ran away. And all that shit was doing was stacking up and piling up on top of each other. And now it got to the point where you can't run no more. You gotta deal with it. And I think that's where we at. We keep trying to run from our problems instead of dealing with the truth of the matter. Man, we are fucked up as a people. We are. And these people don't love us. They don't.
Wow.
The whole fucking world is against us.
Wow.
The Jews are against us. The Arabs are against us. The Asians are against us. White people against us. And you got black people against black people. We fucked up, man. But the only way we're gonna come out of this shit, we gotta be truthful. And we gotta be able to handle each thing one by one. We know the system don't want us. That's why we need to come together and become better. See, we want them to change their strategy. I just told Mar this. If a team goes 17-0, about to go into the playoff, go to the Super Bowl, will they change their strategy? The answer is,
Ain't gonna happen.
they ain't gonna happen. So we cannot ask these people to change their strategy that benefits them so it benefits us. That's not gonna happen. We gotta get better. We gotta get better. What do we gotta get better at? We need to start honoring our ancestors. We need to be proactive in manifesting the truth. We need to figure out what is the reason we came to earth for. And then start doing that instead of trying to imitate somebody else's life. Because that's what's creating more misery. I'm trying to manifest his destiny, and he ain't even manifest his destiny because he's trying to manifest somebody else's destiny. Who trying to manifest somebody else's destiny? Now it's just a daisy chain line of other people who just fucked up because they don't know who they are. And they trying to find themselves in somebody else. So then we got to become spiritually astute, not religiously astute, spiritually astute. And the last thing we got to do is work on our character. It's okay to work on your strengths. That's great. That's the glory. But man, it's harder to work on your weaknesses. Well, you got to develop certain parts of yourself. I had to develop maturity. I had to develop responsibility. I had to develop integrity. I had to develop accountability. And those things made me a better individual. Because I can tell you this, me and him, we knew of each other, but he didn't know this shit I was going through. He didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I hid my insecurities from the world. I knew I was a little boy, but I didn't want to admit to it. I'm a little boy in a man's body. It was Halloween.
But most people do that because this is just what it is. We done faked it so long that you start running out of fakeisms.
Fakeism.
That's my word.
That's your word, fakeisms.
To the point where you just trying to hide it. And you hear me say this all the time. People come to these get-togethers parties and everybody done went and got a haircut, new shirt, new jeans, and this nigga work at 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
And I'm not knocking it, but when you come to the party,
right,
you acting like you the CEO of the NFL. No, we were just talking about recognizing some of the stuff we just gonna have to change, man, because we've been living this fake scene for so long. Like I said, you come to a party, it's not being disrespectful, because we all done did it before, where I done been to parties and I done went with this person and he just went and bought him a new shirt, got a haircut and a shave, and girls checking him out, which is cool. But he know he need to make some adjustments. That nigga under construction, he need to make some improvements.
Exactly.
And then because of you it's almost like being a drug addict. You so addicted to just playing a game and trying to get the opposite sex, you don't let other people know I'm trying to get better. And we just tell people, well, we're the same thing with women. You know, I didn't heard the stories. I didn't met girls that after you get to know them, and it's like, she really ain't ready to be in a relationship. So you coming into these different relationships carrying on everybody else's BS. And how can I outdo you on your own BS? I don't know the ins and outs of what you've been going through for 10 years. I'm new on the scene. And I said, I'm saying that's part of it as far as just getting it together, integrity, and how do we get it? How do we start? Hey man, we coming into each other's lives. Can we make each other better? Because we both at a point where we need to make some adjustments and improvements.
Exactly.
But because of pride and everybody's stuff and got themselves together, we don't know how to be honest in the beginning. Like, hey, listen, I find you to be attractive, but I'm trying to make some improvements so I can be better on planet Earth. So in case I do get with somebody, hopefully we could take each other to another level as opposed to us being on the same level, and both of us don't like the level that we on.
See, now that goes into remedying the manless society, where women can feel comfortable with being with men again, and vice versa. Because if I come to you with the truth about who I am, look, this is who I am right here. I'm looking for a partner. I'm not looking for a parent. I'm not looking to parent you. We need to bring something together. And I think that's the issue with so many relationships, especially with black men and black women. We treat each other as we're looking for a parent, someone to take care of us, versus being how to be a partner. And I know if you're not being taught how to be a partner, you don't know how to be a partner. If you never witnessed a partnership with any successful relationship, and successful don't always mean that they don't argue, they don't disagree. Successful means they know how to deal to get shit done together. So that's how we can remedy that. We got to be on partnership with each other. We got to see each other as valuable. And then that's when this shit will change. Because right now, all we seeing is, excuse my language, dick pussy relationships. And they producing children. And these children they don't have a mature mother, they don't have a mature father, the environment ain't mature. So all that they doing is doing some immature shit growing up.
You're gonna do what you see.
You're gonna do what you see. You're gonna imitate what you see other people do. Because that's what children do. They don't know that they knew, but they like, oh, so that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then when they go out into another environment that don't look like that, now they feel weird. Like, wait a minute, why they ain't doing what they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now they can fuck shit up.
Yeah. And you know, we gotta realize, to go back to the original topic, which is the Manless Society. We gotta realize that we playing the human being game, and humans didn't create none of this. This is God's game. So you got to get connected back to your spiritual side. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, being spiritually astute.
There's the spiritual side that we keep not plugging into.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about just dealing with the everyday church scene, because there's something in that scene that doesn't equate. It doesn't add up.
It don't. It really
Listen,
don't add up.
I'll say this. Some of y'all probably heard me say this before, so allow me to say it again. How can your daughter or your son teach you how to be their daughter or their son at the age of 3, 4, 5? And I'm saying that, and I'm not trying to be funny with the 3, 4, 5, because we've been on the planet a long time before Caucasians took over and started messing up the game. So in other words, how can the second man teach the first man the spiritual life when we were here first? Who are you to tell me the connection with the Creator when we were here first? If you didn't erase my information and all my history, maybe we all could be doing it right on the planet. Because there's something about when you all read that Bible, myself included, and I had to start being honest with myself. How am I reading the Bible and I still don't understand all of it? I was just having a conversation with a family member this morning about, it took you 8 years to get out of grade school. It only took you 8 years. And if you want to add the 4 in high school, that's 12. But some of us been going to church for 30 years and you still work with the book of John 7, chapter verse 3. What that mean, dog? And we learning this when we grown. At least back then you didn't have an understanding, because you 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. You learned 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9. You know what I'm saying? You got that immature mind. Now you're a fully grown, mind-shaped individual, and you still can't figure out that book. What is it about that? Because you can't do all this and not have that spiritual connection. You mentioned honoring the ancestors. That's what you said. We don't honor the ancestors because we don't understand the beginning. Hey man, everything about what we do as people of color, primarily black people, we're gonna have to make some adjustments on. Definitely, that's that ancestor spiritual game. Because if we was telling time by the stars and the sun, and we created the calendar and the clock, etc., now we the second-hand citizens on the planet, that don't even make sense.
Nope, sure doesn't. And by honoring your ancestors, well, let me start here. Black people honor their ancestors.
But why is that?
Because we was taught to honor their ancestors. We was taught that the founding fathers, right?
The slave owners.
The slave owners.
Okay, yeah.
We were taught to honor them.
Yep.
How can I honor someone who beat my mother and my father, raped them, sold them, stripped them of their language, stripped them of their culture, stripped them of their knowledge of God, stripped them of all that they had? How can I honor somebody like that? How? And expect to get a return on investment?
I think you just answered why we still immature. Because it requires you to really do some man and woman shit, and you can't be lazy doing man and woman shit.
True.
Because it's going to require some serious change.
It requires some serious change. Again, we have to be spiritually astute. We have to be proactive in manifesting the truth. What do I mean proactive in manifesting the truth? That means we gotta, when we see the truth, we gotta roll with it. That means we gotta roll with it. Even if it makes us feel uncomfortable, it's gonna take us out of our comfort zone, it's gonna make us feel some kind of way, we gotta roll with the truth. Why? Because everything in nature is the truth. Nature is the truth. Human beings are a part of nature.
Yeah.
So If we roll with nature, what does that mean? Nature's going to roll with us. So that means the truth is going to back us. Nature is God. Put it in simple terms. Everything about nature is God. So if we roll with nature, nature rolls with us. When we violate nature, nature violates us.
Nature fighting back, baby.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Then we got to work on our character. Again, you can always work on your strong suit. That's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to work on your strength, but can you work on that weakness?
Yeah.
That thing that you're not good at. Can you keep chiseling away at that until you get that thing right?
Yeah.
The character part is what we lack the most. Because we had character because we had to work together when our ancestors came out of that condition called slavery. I'm stating this for the record. My ancestors were never slaves. They were in slavery. They were not slaves. And stop referring to them as slaves. That's disrespectful. Because as the saying goes, the fruit can't fall too far from the tree. So I know I ain't no fucking slave. By no stretch of the imagination am I a slave. This boy is too free up here. So anyway, when we start working on character, man, you start seeing the results of working on that character. Our ancestors had to work together. They came out in 1865, 66 with nothing. And they had to build from nothing. And you know what they did? They did it. They were able to do it from nothing. But you know how? Because they worked together. How can someone who don't have nothing build something?
Yeah. It's just cold that whole period of time. Because I know nothing about it. And I'm stating because I know my grandfather was born in 1900. So if you're talking 1865, that's 30, 35 years before he was born. I don't know my upline that was jumping off during that period. So you know what I'm saying? Even that's a problem within itself because I'm a conscious cat and that bothers me. And the reason why I'm bringing that up and making it personal about my family is because I'm talking about us as a generation. We don't understand what we really been stripped of. This is why we got so much low self-esteem. We losing in every goddamn category, but we winning in every bad category. That's not ironic.
We win in every bad category.
High blood, hypertension, stroke, stress. It's craziness. Homelessness, no job having, underpaid. Just everything that's bad, we coming in first place. But everything that we need that we dominate in, that we really dominate in, they just take credit for it. We losing. So again, when we understand the game, so I guess. In saying what we're saying, ain't nobody saying run away from America and run back to Africa, but what we do, we have to change some of the rules to this game. But again, then it can't be 10,000 black people winning and other 39 million losing. You can't, again, it's not gonna work. Because how do you change these police laws and these constitutional rights and all this other stuff that we've been kind of played on since the 1800s? Hell, let's just say the 1930s.
Yeah.
You know?
This is, and let me state this for the record. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying that. But there's a time for fun. Black people have too much fun, and we in a fucked up situation. How can you enjoy yourself being in a fucked up situation? That's my premise. That's why I keep saying we need to grow up. You can't make the bottom look good. You can't. It's the fucking bottom. It's roaches and rats. It's disease. Ain't nothing down there worth having. And it seems like we just have this attraction to it. Like, I'm keeping it real. Ain't shit real about the bottom, man. Nothing. I'm going to tell you like the rapper said, instead of keeping it real, you should try keeping it right. And that's moving with the truth. Recognizing that that's some bullshit and you want to come out of it, but the only way to come out of it, you got to tell the truth, You got to honor your ancestors, and you got to manifest your destiny, and you got to become spiritually astute and work on that character. Yeah. That's how you do it.
And come out with your opposite sex.
Yep. Because you got to bring her. You got to bring him or her with you. Yeah. And you got to bring your babies with you. Yeah. You got to teach the next generation. Hey, we ain't starting over. This is the end of starting over.
It is.
This is the end for starting over. Yeah. We doing this for now on. Yeah. It's better to pass down good character than to pass down wealth. I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody talking this generational wealth shit. The best wealth is character. Because if I can go make the money and I hand it down to my child didn't earn that money. So they don't know the value of the pain that I had to go through to get to that money. Now I can leave you something to make your life a little bit better than what I did. Okay. But you gotta know your child. Will your child continue what you went through? Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, they're not. Because why? Their destiny may be different. So the best thing I can pass down to a child is good character. How to survive in the world, how to survive amongst people, how to survive in business, how to survive in nature. Because if you know how to do this, you will thrive. And if you manifest your destiny, what you came here to do for yourself, and I'm going to tell you this, when you start manifesting your destiny, you know what you automatically become? You become a servant. Your gifts become a gift for everybody else. And I'm going to tell you, when you constantly give that gift, the law of what they say, reciprocity, or the law to give to receive, the more you give your gift to the world, the more you ain't got to worry about your bills being paid. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? You instantly come out of the fucking bottom. Because you're giving. Yeah. Right now, we in fucking hoardership. This is mine. Yeah. This is mine. Yeah. And I'm holding on to all of it. Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know when I'm going to get some more. Mm-hmm. Not knowing if I give the shit away, it's going to come back to me.
Yeah, anyway. But you're not learning them lessons without your other half, though. Nah, because, again, it's not ironic that it was working when everybody was united. Everybody's separated now, so everything is separated. So everybody's grabbing as much as they can because they don't know. Because everybody knows this ain't a team effort no more. Everybody's playing a one-on-one game, which is just not gonna allow you to win.
What people have survived on an individual basis?
None.
Everyone survives on a community basis. Yeah. When the Jews came out of the Holocaust, what did they do? They worked together.
Yeah.
When our ancestors came out of that condition called slavery, they worked together. Yeah. When the Europeans were getting their ass kicked by the Moors, and they finally ousted the Moors out, what did they do? They worked together. Mm-hmm. You gotta work together. These 5 fingers can do some damage individually, but they do a lot more damage when they work together.
Yeah. But we gotta start changing the verbiage. And you hear me say this all the time. I'm not knocking people with a phenomenal vocabulary. Mine's is average as hell. But what I can say, if you don't understand that you need to be relatable, because we all look at what we're talking about. We always starting out from a losing position. So you want to sound extremely educated. There's a time and a place for that. But how about you be more relatable so people can attach themselves to you so they can learn what you know? But what you can't do is keep talking over their heads and sound unrelatable to the point where, if you don't understand, how many people in school that didn't understand, who all don't understand, raise their hand? You didn't see everybody raising their hand, people.
And then that one person did raise their hand. Yeah. Oh, we ready to go and shit.
But then after they get outside, what was you talking about? Right. Because your dumb ass didn't want to say nothing. Right. So again, we got to recognize, man. I mean, we got to become more relatable. We got to become more friendly. We got to rebuild our culture that's been wiped away. You get your culture back with that character, man. We can start back winning again. Yes. And quit denying the other race. I mean, I'm sorry, the other sex, because it took that other sex for you to get here, whether you male or female.
Absolutely.
We got to quit. Some of these answers aren't that difficult. We got to quit acting like we got to go get a college degree for this shit. Right. This is some level 1 shit. Oh, by the way, whether you read history books and or the Bible, what you didn't hear a lot about was people having degrees. People just knew this stuff because they were learning on the fly. So if I'm hanging out with a doctor, he did what? He put this in there, took this bush and this berry and did that and gave them that remedy, and they would say, oh, okay, he wasn't reading that shit in the book. And I'm not knocking books, but we're gonna have to have some hands-on training with some of these people because a lot of these people they're at the point where they ain't about to sit down and start reading books.
Nope.
And if they do read it, with that 3rd grade reading level, it's gonna take them 3 years to read a book. We ain't got time for that. What's that? Animal. Come on, man. We gotta have to help each other. Shit. Y'all know some of these niggas can't read out here.
That's for damn sure they can't read because they can't talk.
Can't count. 1, 2, 7. Skip 3, 4. Man.
I want to put this out there for y'all. Look, we know people need help.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest blaring of success by no stretch of the imagination. I'm not a billionaire, I'm not a millionaire, but I can definitely tell you one damn thing. Man, I got some of this shit down because I've been through the fucking trenches with it. He know my latest story. I ain't gonna tell y'all that one. Yeah. I've been through the fucking trenches, man. Huh? Been through them. And I always pull myself up. You know why? Because I'm built for this. And look, if you going through some shit and you can't figure it out, man, hit me up. Look, leave a comment. If I see the damn comment and it's for me, I promise you I'm gonna respond to you. I know some of us are fucked up, man. I've been there. I still got some shit that's fucked up in my life. Who don't? Who don't? But I can tell you this, if we work together, 2 minds is better than 1. Yeah. We can figure that shit out. Then we add a 3rd mind to it. We can really figure the shit out. Yeah. But it goes to this. You gotta be focused on it. You gotta be committed to getting over it. You gotta be consistent to getting through it. You gotta have discipline to make sure that you can get over it. And you gotta keep readjusting your strategy till you achieve what you wanna achieve. That's all these quote-unquote life coaches keep selling y'all on this bullshit. I just told you how you overcome everything. Focused action, consistent action, focused action, consistent action, God dang it. I can't forget, I'm forgetting the word.
Well, do those 2 first.
Focus, committed action, consistent action, disciplined action, and relentless action. Those 5 things. Everything's based on action though. Because action produces a result. Not thinking about it. Thinking about it too long will cause psychosis. You gotta do something. You gotta act on it if you want to see a result. The result may not always be what you want. But you learn, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Then you see the one thing, oh, this part did work. So I'm getting closer because I learned this part. And that's all it is. Life is a formula.
It's an action sport.
Yeah, it's an action sport, aka a formula to how to get to the truth. And that's all we want. We just want to get to the truth of things. The truth is we fucked up as black people. We are fucked up. Everything we had up until 1964 is gone. Everything. Everything is gone. We at the fucking childlike state now. And we gotta get off of that if we gonna see any type of change in the world again. We gotta develop that character, man.
It's gonna require some big time change though.
It's gonna require a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, cause this you talking an easy 50 years where stuff has just been eliminated, man. And it's sad, but it's true. And you know what you're talking about as far as the action side. Any and everybody that ever tried to work out, you can talk that stuff all you want. Don't get off that couch and watch nothing change about you. It requires you to get that treadmill, run around that park, hit them weights, do some swimming, change your eating. There's an action that's required to go along with the wishes and the ones and the prayers.
Everything is an action required.
That's why I said life is an action game. You're gonna have to. Why you think you wake up every day with energy? God didn't expect you just to lay on your butt all day. You got to get up and you got to take part in the game, man.
I'm telling you, look, all these quote-unquote life coaches, man, they just selling y'all down the fucking river, man. They just want money from y'all. They gonna tell y'all some feel-good shit. Feel good is what got us here. We need to be on some, oh shit. Like, how do I get out of this shit? And I'm telling you, as someone who's have gotten out of the shit a few times, this is what I did. Those things I told you, focused action, committed action, consistent action, disciplined action, relentless action, working on my character, being proactive with the truth, honoring my ancestors, living in my destiny, and being spiritually astute, that's the shit that got me out every single time. Every time.
And to make it more relatable for those of you who don't understand what he was saying, that's why he just said you can reach out to us.
Just reach out.
So what do you mean by that? Here we go again with that being prideful and or embarrassed. And if you are, I understand. It's not nothing to joke about with whomever. But again, so we can help. Like you said, we're talking this stuff, but one thing we've always said is we're going to extend ourselves to people that may need some assistance. It may just be, I got 2 questions. Can you help me, figure some of this stuff out? Cool, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what's needed, we don't just want to be running our mouths. We want to extend ourselves for people that need the outside assistance.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, that's being spiritually astute don't mean you can't still be involved in your religion. Whatever your religious practice is, be involved in it. But being spiritually astute is understanding nature, understanding how you relate to nature, understanding your part in nature. That's being spiritually astute. See, we hear African shit and be like, oh, that's the devil. Who taught you that? Africans are some of the most spiritually grounded people on planet fucking Earth. Why do you think Africa is underdeveloped? Because a lot of times they're like, man, no, we ain't doing that shit. We don't care about y'all politics. And look, we take care of the earth because the earth gives to us, so we give back to the earth. Now you got some developed places in Africa. I ain't gonna tell you that, no lie about that. It is a lot of developed places in Africa. What I'm saying is, just because you hear the term voodoo, voodoo does not mean nothing evil. It don't mean the devil or nothing like that. Voodoo just means spirit. Every last human being got a spirit in it. If you're alive, you got a spirit in you. It just depends on how you use that spirit. So you ain't got to let go of your religion to become spiritually astute, getting in tune with the God around you and the God inside of you. That's what being spiritually astute is. Learning how to listen to that voice in your head and trusting it. How to remove that blockages of negativity that's always coming at you. I'm going to tell you how we get bombarded with negativity. The music we listen to, the fucking television, the programs on television, all the bullshit. Again, I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself, but there comes a time when you got to tune that shit out and tune into you. Tune into WYOU. I promise you, you'll love that station. Promise you. Because that's you. And you see how, when I don't know if you meditate, bro, but when I do meditate, and when I'm in meditation, man, I find just a quiet place, and I get into myself for a minimum of 20 minutes a day, just a minimum of 20 minutes. If it's 24 hours and I can't give myself 20, that's a problem. I get into myself for 20 minutes, and I just be quiet, and I hear me. What do I have to say to me? Sometimes it's some negative shit, sometimes it's not. But if it's some negative shit, I always question, where is that negative thought coming from? And then it's like, well, is that really my thought? Because we get bombarded by thoughts all the time. Is that my thought, or is that somebody else's thought? And a lot of times I find out that's somebody else's thought. Because why would I think that way about me? That's not showing love to me. So then when I come out of meditation, you know what the first thing I do? I give myself a hug. Because I may not get a hug that day. You know what I said? I kiss myself on the hand. Hey, you got to jump back and kiss yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I get it,
So I'm saying is that you show yourself love, and what you'll find out, you become more loving.
And not to be guessing, man, I get it that some people have been so shut off for so long that they don't know how to do any of those things. So again, it don't have to be us, but man, you got to find yourself some assistance. But if needed, again, we extend ourselves because it can start with some basic one conversation, man. How do you do it, and how do I know what voice I'm listening to in my head? And man, sometimes when you hear other people's stories, you like, that sounds familiar. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's gonna spark it because most of us have been turned off intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got you watching something else as opposed to you tapping into yourself because you've been turned off on society. So much to the point where anything that feels good, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the shit that we do that feel good, we don't need to be doing. Another reason why we just still at the starting line. We ain't even started the race yet.
Mm-hmm.
Sad but true, you know.
I want to show y'all something so y'all don't think I'm lying. This was my link card. I got this in 2011 when I was at the very lowest point in my life. And I vowed to keep this on me for all my days because it reminded me of when I'm never going back to. Even when I went through that second phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I noticed was this thing was still in my wallet, right? I said, I don't care whatever happened, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this. I'm never that much in trouble that I gotta go back to this. And so I'm saying that to say, y'all, is that if I can pull myself up from the gutter, living in a basement, hungry for 14 days, all kind of debt on top of me, still depressed about my mother's death and all this and that, had to file bankruptcy. It's like, it was just piled on. If I can pull myself out, I ain't better than nobody who watching this. And we all got some kind of resolve, but the thing is, you don't know what you made of until you've been challenged. You just don't know. And just because you're going through a challenge don't mean it's forever. It was at one point in time, this thing didn't exist in your life. So let's create another part of your life where we can move past this so it don't exist anymore. And I know the hardest part is, I don't know how to do it.
To start off. Yeah.
We can show you how. Let us help you. We ain't say a fee, have we? You know why? Because I want to help you help yourself. Because you know what? The people who helped me didn't charge me shit. So why should I charge you? Does my shit have value? Absolutely. But I recognize if I help you, you can go help somebody else, and you can send somebody else too. So man, please,
let's get it.
Let's get off the fucking starting block and let's run this race, because that's all racism is a race. And I just showed Marv this video earlier how it was a race going on, and it was black people was running the race. It was a relay race, right? And black people are running this race along with white people, and white people took off in 1492, and what black people didn't take off to 1865. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
And really, we really didn't take off until like the 1960s.
1964.
Yeah. It was, man, you gotta see the little cartoon.
Oh my goodness.
It's really sad.
It is sad.
But it's so accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is the part that really stood out outside of watching the video itself. The likes and the dislikes. How do you have 11,000 dislikes? Who do you think that was? What?
11,000 dislikes compared to what, 8,400 likes?
Yeah. What you mad about? Because we did showing you how it's been set up for us to lose, and everything you can see it. You could everything you saw you could look up for all the 11,000 dislikes. You can. What do you dislike about the truth?
But it's the truth. People don't like the truth because the truth makes them feel uncomfortable. And I'm gonna leave y'all with a story about the truth and the lie, right? So, truth and the lie will go on a journey together, and they were fraternal twins. And so, the lie was always jealous of the truth because he dressed in good clothes, right? He loved the way he dressed. So he was like, man, truth, like, when you gonna let me get them clothes? And so truth was like, hey, you can only get them when you become like me. but you try to be the opposite of me, and so therefore you can't be like me. So, but truth wasn't as attractive as lie, but you know, people like the truth because he brought progress to their life, right? So as they was walking on their journey, Lie noticed a river. And he said, hey, Truth, let's go jump in the water, man. Let's go take for a swim real quick before we get where we going. Truth being the truth, like, nah, man, I'm cool. So Lie was like, I'm about to jump in there anyway. So Truth was like, come on, Lie. Come on, man, we gotta go. So Lie, not paying attention to Truth, take his clothes off, jump in the water. Splashing like he 3 years. You remember we were 3 years old, he's jumping there. So Truth is standing on the side like, come on, man, we gotta go. So then Lie moves into the center of the river, and all of a sudden he starts drowning. And so Truth was looking at him like, he just playing. And so he was like, help, help, help. And so then Truth seen the serious of the matter, so he took his clothes off and jumped in the water to go save his brother, right? He get to the point where he last seen his brother, and his brother wasn't there. And now he's like, man, what happened? So he comes up for some air, and when he comes up from air, he sees Lie putting on Truth's clothes, grabs his old clothes and takes off running. So Truth swims to the edge of the bank, climbs out and starts chasing after Lie, right? The moral of the story is, a well-dressed lie is always being chased by the naked truth. Reason why we don't like the truth, because it's appalling. It doesn't fit in the part of our character that we're comfortable with. However, the lie is always saying something that's going to attract us to it, because it knows what to say. It's going to tell us to take those shortcuts. It's going to tell us to make this investment even though we don't know shit about what we're doing. It's going to continue to play us, and when the truth comes, like, hey, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. You know that feeling inside of you that tells you when some shit is wrong. And we don't listen to it. And then we end up doing the shit that the lie told us to do, and then here come all this fucking chaos right after that. Like, man, I knew I should have listened to that feeling in my gut. Because that's the truth trying to tell you, don't do that. But because we're thinking monetarily a lot of times, we're thinking with our sexual organs a lot of times, and we end up catching up some shit that we could have avoided had we just paid attention to that, to the truth. But the truth is appalling because it's not attractive like the lie is. So with that being said, trust me, I've been a victim of the lie on a lot of occasions in my life. A victim. Did some shit I should have never did. But however, I learned my lessons, and I don't do those things anymore. So again, leave us a comment. If you are going through something and you need some help, be humble and open yourself up so one of us can help y'all. It could be Marvin, it could be me, it could be both of us working together. But we want people to get better. That's the whole reason why we started this podcast. Because we starting ugly, but we don't want to stay ugly. We want to see some beauty in the world when it comes to our people. Because we ugly as hell right now. And again, I'm being serious, I know. But this is a serious matter. So on that note, I want to thank y'all for watching Manless Society. Can we get some offense on the field? Can we build some character?
Put it together.
Can we come together? Because man, it is imperative. We need it more than ever. And man, I want to thank y'all for watching. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Share the video if you find anything remotely that can help you. And leave a comment. Please leave a comment. We are here to help. And if you of any other race other than ours and you need help, I'm still game to help. I just want you to know that I will not look at you differently, because I know people are going through individual problems. I like to talk to my people, but I do understand that as human beings, we still got human problems. So, got anything, bro?
That's it, though.
That's it. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all very much, and we're gonna check y'all out another time very soon with the next coming soon. I mean, coming soon. That's the old shit. Yeah. Start ugly, but don't stay ugly. I'm Tez.
It's Marv.
Gonna check y'all out next time. Deuces.
Yes, sir.